Good evening, race fans, and welcome back after a 2-week hiatus to the North-South Racing League's ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. And we're bringing you here from the wonderful Slinger Speedway here in Wisconsin for some high bank short track action here this evening. We want to thank ZooFab Garage, the presenting sponsor of the Street Stock Series here located in Tennessee. ZooFab Garage is your one-stop shop for fabrication and power on your performance vehicle, track car, or street car. Find them on Facebook to contact them and start your next project today. That's ZooFab Garage. Kelly's Custom Engraving is a locally owned and operated business located in North Carolina, specializing in custom engraving of wood, leather, glass, acrylic, and many more materials. Be sure to like and follow their Facebook page today to see all their amazing products and place your order. It's a good place to get your holiday orders in as well. RC2 Promotions, the redraw sponsor here tonight for the RC2 Promotions, an iRacing special event organizer that can help manage your special events. They offer quality consulting, event planning, and promotion and full-service event management. For competitive prices, if you have an idea for an event, RC2 Promotions can make it happen. They handle every detail from recruiting competitors to race day management. With 7 years of experience and over 10 years in special event planning, RC2 Promotions can make your idea a reality. You can contact Robbie at facebook.com RC2RP. Wizards Design is your one-stop shop for logo signage for streamers, signs with LED lighting, laser cut wood, and changing colors. They also make bean bag boards, flag designs, and so much more. Check them out on Facebook for all of their projects. J&G Hardwood Flooring is a local-owned business in Tennessee. Owners Josh and Brandon have had over 35 years of experience to serve all of your flooring needs. From new construction, remodels, or even small repairs, it is J&G Hardwood Flooring. Contact today for free estimates at 615-904-2218. And what we'll see up next is the Duelawiser Fast Time Award. It is presented by Matt Dula, the proud owner of Duelawiser, located in Columbus, Ohio. Cold brews, good times, and political conversations. And, of course, the drink of choices at the races. Duelawiser is the official drink of the NSRL. Duelawiser asks all drivers to please drink responsibly. Those are our presenting sponsors. And as we got through that, we bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the man that got to toss it up the last couple weeks here, Mr. Kelly Dahl. Welcome to Slinger Speedway.
Yeah, I'm very excited to call my first race here. I mean, I got my first taste of this track last week with these guys here. We're running a few fun races in the mini stocks around this track, and I think one of the things these guys are going to have to deal with is getting dizzy. These corners come up to you fast with only 12-second lap times, even in these street stocks. And another big thing is that wall off of turn 4. We had a lot of guys talking about how they're just smashing it off of during practice here. So we have to see if a couple of these guys are going to be able to pinball it off of that wall, or if everyone's going to be able to keep it clean for the whole 125 laps.
125 laps as we take a look at the race advance for the Badger State 125 presented by simracehub.com. That's where you can go to get all of your ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series North-South Racing League stats if you so there. Slinger, Wisconsin is where we are, quarter mile, as Kelly alluded to. The banking here is more than the banking at Daytona International Speedway, so wrap your head around that for a minute, Kelly. First,
yeah, I think it's 33 degrees.
33 to 34 degrees, somewhere around there. 0 races here with the street stocks. They did race last season with the late model stocks where Brian Hacker picked up the win. So tonight we will set a track record for the street stock division in the Duelawiser qualifying as we get ready for that up next. But right now, let's take a look at your point standings headed into tonight. Brian Hacker sits atop of the heap after 10 races, just 3 races remaining, including tonight's racing, and he just has a slim margin of 9 points over Ryan Johnson. Scott Austin sits third, Dustin Shepard fourth, and Philip Martin rounding out your top 5. And Kelly, the points are tight here in the top 5, only 83 points separating those top 5 drivers.
Yeah, 83 separating the top 5 and only 9 separating first and second. It is going to come down to the wire of these last few races between Brian Hacker and Ryan Johnson. But as mentioned, Ryan Johnson is going to have to start at the back of the field here tonight after winning our last race. But qualifying is now underway. One of our first cars out on the track is the 91 of Adam Gable. He is already on his first time lap here. Looks like a little bit of a wobble in that car. Oh, gets really loose off of 4. He's going to jam on the brakes so that he can get another try at this. So he will not set a time. We're going to still wait on our first time to go up on the board.
Yeah, did not get a time. Another car up onto the racetrack just now. The number 10 of John Cross, as he's up on the racetrack, is now cars there. Philip Martin up onto the speedway. He's going to come across to put his first time into the record books here tonight. So he'll set the abbreviated pole award right now. The Dualizer Fast Time Award going to go to Philip Martin, and that is a new track record at 12.60. And lap number 2 a little bit quicker for Martin with a 12.58.
Yeah, we'll see how long that will stand. As you mentioned, whoever gets pulled tonight will get the track record, as it is the first time these guys have run here in the street stocks. Matt Cook now going to take that away with a 12.567. See if he'll go faster on his second lap like Martin did. No, he's going to get the wall off of 4.
Hits the wall off of 4. Here comes Ryan Johnson as Randy Nichols goes to the top of the pylon. As here comes the 38 of Johnson. He'll cross the line and he'll go quick time with a 12.52, and that's a new track record for Ryan Johnson with a 12.52. As he sits there, remember, he'll have to start at the tail of the field after picking up the win 2 weeks ago at what was the Myrtle Beach Speedway, if I do recall correctly, and I am correct. Can you believe I remembered that?
That is a long time for you to remember something, so yeah, I'm fairly impressed, Al.
Yeah, I mean, hey. That's the 93 of Chad McLeod on the racetrack. Gary Eschen as well. McLeod going to slot into the 8th spot, and he is the final. Well, right now, all the cars that have put time in are in the RC2 Promotions redraw here during Dualizer Fast qualifying. Is Dustin Shepard up onto the racetrack in the ZooFab garage, number 89. Shepard going to try to put himself into the redraw, which will happen a little bit later on here. Just about halfway through, about 2 minutes left here in qualifying to get your times in. And right now, Ryan Johnson trying to get the qualifying points and hold the track record. We will see if that will stand. Here comes Dustin Shepard, lap number 1 into the books. Shepard going to go top of the board, 12.45 with a new track record.
And we've seen a couple drivers go faster on their second laps. Let's see if Shepard can do that now. It almost looks like maybe a cloud has come over here, so that might cool the track off a little and allow these guys to get some faster times down. And now Rodney Huntoon is going to go to the top of the board, 12.452, so 0.02 of a second over Dustin Shepard.
The LaFon Heat in number 12 going to go there, 12.45. So Rodney Huntoon, now your current points leader, the driver out of Huntley, Illinois. This is a short drive here to the Slinger Speedway. Up onto the racetrack for the number 2, the Austin Design entry. This is Brian Hacker. Brian Hacker comes in with a 9-point cushion in the championship standings. We'll see what kind of lap Hacker can put in. Lap number 1 is going to go. Top of the board, 12.40 for Brian Hacker. Scott Austin also going to go to the second spot with a 12.43. Gary Eschen going to slot into the 5th spot here in the number 23 car. There's another car up onto the racetrack, the number 33 of Brian Campbell. As Brian Hacker sits atop of the board with a new track record. Just 20 seconds left in qualifying. And Dan Janjanin, the only car not on the racetrack to make an attempt. Campbell comes by, and Campbell will slot in with no time that time by. Kelly maybe touched that wall.
No, that was still his out lap. He had come out originally and had spun it off of 4 on his first out lap, so he reset and has made another attempt. That time, though, no, I did not see a time go up on the board, so maybe he did not get there in time, just barely ran out of time in qualifying, so he will have to go start from the back of the field. A little bit of a smaller field here tonight, but at a quarter-mile speedway, they will fill up that track.
That it will. And right now, as we get ready to go, it is now time for the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw. Drivers will get to choose 1 through 8. And we'll start with the fastest driver all the way to the slowest driver in that top 8 with the redraw. As they will start to populate there, we'll talk to each and every one of them, get an idea of what they feel like here what it will look like here tonight. As we take a look at that here, and it'll be Brian Hacker, Scott Austin, Rodney Huntoon, Dustin Shepard, Gary Eschen, Randy Nichols, Matt Cook, and Philip Martin will be our top 8 drivers, Kelly, that get to draw here tonight. And I believe you're going to catch up with our fast time and new track record holder, the number 2 of Brian Hacker.
Yeah, caught up now, Brian Hacker, our Fast Time Award winner tonight. And for the first time in a few weeks, you actually get to make a draw. What are you expecting here tonight at Slinger?
It's going to be tight. It's a tight track. It's a fast track. Things happen quick. So hoping that we can just get out of here with a good finish. Not really expecting much else than that.
Well, Brian, I think it's been a while since you've had to do this, but numbers 1 through 8, what would you like to choose here tonight?
Let's go with 5.
All right, number 5 coming off the board, and that means, Brian Hacker, you'll be starting on the inside of row number 2 in P3.
I'll take that.
All right, well, hopefully we can get something done there from P number 3, and hopefully we'll be talking to you later tonight. Good luck to you, Brian.
Thanks, man. Hope so.
And as Brian Hacker, current championship points leader, and he'll be starting from P number 3 tonight, so keep an eye out for that 2 car going towards the front now. Al, I think you're going to be catching up with our next one, Scott Austin.
Yeah, down here with the driver of the number 5 of Scott Austin. And Scott looking fairly quick out there, just shy of that pole whip. We're going to get the draw number 2 here tonight. How's the number 5 looking out there? And what's your outlook for tonight's 125 lap race?
It's good. We dusted it off, and it's still fast, so we're good. I love this racetrack in real life. Haven't raced it a ton on the sim, so looking forward to tonight.
All right, well, I'll let you know the pole is still available. Number 5 is off of the board, and that was for P number 3. Well, what number would you like here in the redraw?
Let's take 7.
Number 7 coming off the board for Scott Austin, and that will be outside front row here. So an outside starting spot at Slinger. Is that good or bad here, Scott?
Anything towards the front's good. We'll take what we can get.
Well, congratulations once again on making the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw. We look forward to see what you can do out here tonight. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Scott Austin going to roll off in P number 2. Kelly, next one up. Driver that number 12 car, Rodney Huntoon.
Yeah, here now with the driver of the 12, Rodney Huntoon. And Rodney, how are you feeling on the track here tonight?
A little tight coming off 4. That wall comes up quick, but otherwise, pretty good.
Well, we have 5 and 7 off of the board, and that is P2 and P3 that have been taken. So anything other than those 2 numbers is up to you. What would you like to take?
I'll take number 2.
Number 2. That means, Rodney Huntoon, you will be starting pole position.
Excellent.
All right, pole position. Do you think track position is going to be that important here tonight?
I think tires are going to be very important here tonight, so I don't know how far I want to push it up front, but we'll have a lot of heavy hitters behind me.
Well, Rodney, good luck to you tonight. Hopefully you can turn that pole into a win, and we'll be talking to you later.
Thank you.
All right, so there's your pole sitters for tonight, Rodney Huntoon. So unfortunately for the rest of these guys, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are off the board. Al, you're going to be caught up now with Dustin Shepard. Let's see what he's going to get.
Yeah, catching up with the driver of the ZooFab Garage, number 89, Dustin Shepard. I got some bad news to start off with. The front row and 3rd place are already gone. So the best you can start is 4th.
Of course.
But you made the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw, so your trip to Slinger hasn't started off too bad.
Right. What numbers are left?
We have numbers 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8 to choose from.
Let's go 6.
Number 6 coming
That'll
off
start 8th.
the board. And that will be P5. So inside row number 3. Not too bad. I feel like inside is probably a good starting spot here tonight.
Starting off, yeah. It'll probably be the way to go.
Well, have you had many laps around here before tonight? What's your outlook here for yourself at this little bull ring?
Just trying to survive. Like I said, I have a few laps here, not enough to say one way or the other, but I can do a couple quick laps and then I start falling off. I can't keep up with Hacker, and he's fast here. He's fast everywhere. So.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you here at the end of the Badger State 125 a little bit later on this afternoon. Hopefully, we'll have a good race and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
There you go, Dustin Shepard, car number 89, going to roll off from spot number 5. Up next is going to be the driver of the number 23, Mr. Gary Eschen.
Yeah, here now with Gary Eschen. And Gary, how scary is that wall off of turn number 4? We're hearing a lot of guys talking about how that wall is jumping out at them.
Actually, I think I'm one of the few guys that haven't been knocking the wall down. So, yeah, I think I got 4's a little tricky off, but I haven't really been struggling there too much. Just really now trying to get back used to driving these cars. It's been a while since I've been racing, so yeah.
All right, well, bad news. 1, 2, 3, and 5 are all been taken off the board. So the best space you can start is 4th. And for numbers, we have 1, 3, 4, and 8. What would you like?
Number 4.
All right, number 4 coming off the board. That means you're going to be starting back there in 7th place here tonight. Are you expecting track position to be a big deal tonight, or is it going to be a different factor that's going to decide this race?
Actually, I think it's going to be a lot of green flag racing. It's a smaller field tonight, and yeah, starting on the low side, hopefully we can get the momentum and, get in the top 3 hopefully pretty soon and build from there and hopefully be there at the end.
Well, good luck to you, Gary, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this race.
Thank you.
That is Gary Eschen, going to be starting back there in 7th place, but we're going to keep rolling along, and we're going to have to skip over Ryan Johnson as he'll be moving to the back of the field. So, Al, who you caught up with?
I caught up with a driver out of Texas, the number 69 of Randy Nichols. Always has a fast Thunderbird. Finds himself inside the RC2 Promotions redraw here tonight. And Randy, how you feeling? Are you going to be able to keep it off those outside walls off the corner? They come up awfully quick.
We'll see. Kind of head's not in the game tonight, but I'm definitely gonna try my best to not smack it off before every lap.
It's going to be coming into, I think, play there, especially with you guys having that incident cap there. Does that play into your mind as how hard you will push the race cars?
I think definitely, because you got to think of how quick the wall comes up at you, and so if you got somebody to your outside, the last thing you want to do is squeeze them into the wall, cause a big accident. You got 4x that'll stack up on you pretty quick, and hell, even hitting the wall hard enough, it'll give you a 2x. So it'll sneak up quick if you push it too early.
Well, we have 3 numbers left to choose from here tonight in the RC2 Promotions Top 8 redraw. That would be numbers 1, 3, and 8. Pick your poison, I guess.
Let's just go with 8.
Go with number 8 coming off the board, and P8 or number 8 will be P4. So that was the best you could start here so far in this redraw. So you start the outside of row number 2. Good or bad?
We'll see. If somebody gasses it up too early for 4, it could be a quick night, or an early night. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, we wish you the best of luck here. That is the driver of the 69, Randy Nichols. He'll be rolling off P number 4. Best of luck to you, Randy.
Thanks, Bill.
Randy Nichols rolling off P number 4. And that will lead you to Matt Cook, driver to the number 15. He'll be our next driver to choose.
Yeah, here now with Matt Cook. And Matt, the track is looking a little hot there, but is it really that loose on the cars?
Yeah, actually, it really is. It's kind of changed a lot since we started, so it's going to be interesting.
All right, well, good news for you is you can't start any further back than you already are. Bad news is there's not really many options up ahead of 8th place. There's only 6th or 8th. So your choices are 1 or 3.
I'll take number 1.
All right, number 1 means you're going to be starting back there in P number 8, unfortunately. But as I said, that's not any further back than you qualified. So how are you feeling about this race? Do you think you're going to be able to make your way forward?
I'm going to try to hang right around that spot for a while and let it play out and see what I can do late. That's my plan.
All right, well, good luck to you, and hopefully we'll be talking to you after the end of 225 laps.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Matt Cook. He's going to be starting back there in P number 8. So now I'm going to give Al that one last driver and let him know where he's starting.
All right, we're catching up with Philip Martin. He rocks up here to the RCT Promotions Top 8 redraw. Number 3 is left, so we'll let you know where you're going to start this interview off. It'll be on the outside of row number 3. So 6th starting spot for Philip Martin. So, hey, you got what was left. What do you got left in the car? Can you make it to the front?
I don't know. It's going to be tough. The track's really slick, really hot. So it's going to be tough, that's for sure.
What do you think we're gonna see? We heard a lot of guys saying they gotta watch the outside exits of the race of the exits on this racetrack, and some guys are worried about that incident point just with how tight the corners are up off the exits there. Is that going to be something you're going to be playing in your mind as well?
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. It gets real narrow real quick off of 4, so you just kind of gotta play nice with everybody the best you can and hope for the best.
Well, we hope to see this 46 moving forward. You got 125 laps, and by Kelly's math, he says it's going to be quick.
It's going to be fast, that's for sure.
Well, we hope you brought your head and neck restraint with you there. We'll let you get ready to go as we get ready to go tonight's race. Good luck there, Philip, with tonight's race. Philip Martin will roll off 6, Kelly, and I believe you have the recap. We'll let you give us the starting grid here for the first 5 rows for the Badger State 125.
Yeah, starting in P number 1 is going to be Rodney Huntoon, followed by Scott Austin to his outside. Row number 2 on the inside will be Brian Hacker, and on the outside, Randy Nichols. In row 3, we are going to see Dustin Shepard, followed by Philip Martin. And row 4 on the inside, Gary Eschen. On the outside, Matt Cook. So after that, it will be Adam. Actually, we're going to be moving the inside line up, I believe. So that would... Sorry, no, we're moving the outside line up. We just got to see where Ryan Johnson's starting. So it would then be Adam Gable and then Robbie Clavey.
Yep, would make up row number 6. It'll be Austin Williams starting back there as well as they start to get that populating down through. Then we also have John Cross, Chad McLeod, Braden Campbell, Dan Janjanin, and of course the number 38 of Ryan Johnson rolling off 16th. Kelly, 16 cars signing in here tonight in what is going to be a pretty competitive race, I believe, here tonight. And it's gonna be a fast one with Rodney Huntoon starting up on the front row. A lot of fast race cars as they roll off of there. The pace car down and away already. I hope you are ready. 125 laps is what the distance is. Green flag is up, and we are underway with a Badger State 125.
Yeah, Rodney Huntoon going to lead the field down into turn number 1, and looks like Scott Austin is actually, no, he's fighting back on that outside line against his own teammate. Brian Hacker is trying to push to the inside. A big slide there for Dustin Shepard, nearly gets up into Nichols, but everyone able to keep their car in their right line and not get into each other. Still, drivers battling side by side all throughout the field. Looks like Austin made a little mistake off of 4, and that's going to allow Hacker into second place.
Yeah, the top 4 cars single file. We watched the battle back there for the 5th spot between Randy Nichols and the 23 of Gary Eschen. Is already lap number 3 clicked off. These guys are still side by side. There's a little bit of a spot down to the inside if Nichols would like it. And I think right now he will fill that hole. So everybody getting single file here fairly quick. A little back all the way to the 33 of Campbell and the 73 of Robbie Clavey running side by side. That is the battle for the 10th position.
Yeah, Clavey had a little bit of a wiggle off of 2, and now the 10 of Jonathan Cross getting hard into the wall off of 4. Now getting a good run on the outside, though, through 1 and 2, and that's going to allow him to get a nose ahead of that 73. Can he keep turn 4 nice and tidy this time? No, he's going to get loose off of 4. A little bit of contact, though, with the 73, and he is going to take over that position. Looks like a little bit of struggles there for Robbie Clavey, but he's going to have a spot now to maybe... Oh, no. Looks like Dan Janjanin trying to fill that hole in the high side.
And he's got the 38 of Ryan Johnson, who's trying to make his way through the field. Remember, Johnson came into tonight's racing only 9 points back of your race leader, as Brian Hacker has made it around Scott Austin for the top, and they both made it around the 89 of Shepard.
Now it was the 12 of Huntoon who's actually struggling now. He is dropping all the way back. It looks like he got shuffled to that outside line and now has only just found the bottom there behind the 46 of Philip Martin. So big struggles early on here for Rodney Huntoon. Hopefully he can shake it off, get himself back into a rhythm, as we see a big wiggle there from Randy Nichols. He's able to maintain his position for now, but nearly lost the car off of turn 2, and he's now going to have to be gentle for the next couple laps to get those tires cooled off. And with how short these straightaways are here, there's not a lot of time to cool those tires off.
Yeah, Randy Nichols, we're on board with him, looking at the backside of his race car as we look at Philip Martin, and they are all just trying to bide some time as they have some gap. The 23 of Gary Eschen, though, starting to put some pressure on the 89 of Dustin Shepard, trying to make a move on him, unable to do so as Eschen rides in the 4th spot. Brian Hacker is opened up to about a half-second advantage over to 5 of Scott Austin.
Yeah, and Scott Austin basically going to be tail gunning for his teammate here now as he's trying to hold off Dustin Shepard. And those guys are mainly going to be watching for Ryan Johnson. That is the big championship contender for the 2 of Brian Hacker. And Johnson having to work his way through the field, and tonight that is a tough ask. He's only back in 13th right now, and we are already 16 laps in the books here tonight at a scheduled 125.
Yeah, the race leaders are closing in on the backside of that field as we watch Ryan Johnson work around the racetrack as he closes in on the backside of Williams. Back towards the front, Matt Cook starting to feel some pressure. The 91 of Adam Gable up 1 spot. He rides in the 9th spot, and he's starting to close in. So everybody's kind of minding their P's and Q's as now the 38 of Johnson with a run to the inside underneath the wheelers. Number 85 of Williams. Can he make the move off of turn number 2? He cannot just yet as they work through turns 3 and 4.
That 85 getting in the marbles a little bit on that high side. The track isn't really that wide and really clear at the moment. A lot of drivers were just running that bottom super tight here in warm-up and in practice, and that has left that high side very dirty for the time being. I'm sure as we run, it is going to clear up a little bit, but Ryan Johnson going to finally get himself through, move himself up into 12th, but now he's got about 1.3 seconds up to the next car ahead, so I'm sure he's going to hope for maybe a caution to maybe bunch this field back up at some point.
Yeah, Brian Hacker out front now as we see him working there. Scott Austin still in 2nd. 3rd, Dustin Shepard. Gary Eschen runs in 4th. Randy Nichols is 5. And Philip Martin runs in spot number 6. Your pole sitter, Rodney Huntoon, sits all the way back in spot number 7 now. So Huntoon taking it easy there. Kelly, remember he just said he thought tires were going to be there. So maybe he was feeling like being pressured a little too early on, maybe playing into his strategy. But how about the battle a little bit further behind him? As it looks like it was the 15 was at the racetrack just for a moment, but he follows it back in line.
Yeah, Gary Eschen is putting a lot of pressure on Dustin Shepard. He seems to be a little bit faster through 1 and 2, but there just isn't a spot for him to go, as he's kind of faster through the middle of the corner where the 89 is already down on that yellow line. So that leaves Eschen with no option, as we've seen tonight. That high side is not the faster line, but also keep an eye right behind him in that red 69 car. That is Randy Nichols. He's got some pace as well, as looks like we've actually got a car coming down pit road already. I'm taking a look, and that might have been Austin Williams, who is down on pit road, already a lap down, so problems for the 85.
Yeah, Williams already on pit road, and he had made some contact with the outside wall, Kelly, so tough break for the Wheelers number 85 as he sits on pit road. But the race leaders are going to start to encounter some lap traffic, and the first car that they will encounter is that RC2 Promotions number 73 of Robbie Clavey. And Clavey running there in spot number 15. And this is where it's going to get interesting in these long green flag runs, the lap traffic. Now, these guys have been racing all season long with each other. They are, competitors on a racetrack, but the respect in this league is very high as they work around here. And as they work down the backstretch, we see Brian Hacker right to the back bumper of Clavey. He's going to have to take some time to try to figure out a way around her. But I tell you, Randy Nichols putting the pressure, though, to Gary Eschen is now Dan Janjanin into the pits here on lap number 33.
Yeah, Hacker still looking for a way around that 73 car. Clavey not giving way just yet. Now he's going to take the high line, so that will allow the two to get through. And this lap traffic might shake things up just a little bit here tonight. I mean, it is a very short track, as you mentioned, just a quarter mile, so not a lot of space between the lead of the pack and the back, even with only 16 cars, though now there's only 14 on the track, it seems.
Yeah, right now Williams and Janjanin in the pit area as the 5 of Austin works around Clavey. Randy Nichols had applied some pressure to the 23 of Eschen. Now Eschen has gotten away from the 69 of Nichols and putting some pressure on the 89 of Shepard. Shepard a little bit free that time. Here comes Eschen with a look to the inside. Couldn't do anything through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space to set up a pass. You kind of have to try to find that gap and just kind of force your car into it. We'll see later on in this race if people start trying to move others out of the way, as Eschen just seems like he's got the pace. He seems like he's faster than that 89 car, but just can't quite find the opportunity. As that time there was a mistake out of Shepard, but even still Eschen could not take advantage of it. He's still looking for that opportunity, but now look at the Randy Nichols. He's going to find his own opportunity. He's going to dive to the inside of the 23. They're going to be close coming off of 4, but Eschen a little bit more speed. However, that 69 car still has that preferred lane, but look at that run on the outside from the 23.
Yeah, Eschen with a great run to hold off the 69 car as they work around the 93 of McLeod. McLeod going to give way to the battle here as he's got that. Really, and Kelly, lap traffic has really set up this great battle for 2nd through 5th. Nichols with more contact that time on the backside of Eschen, it looked like. Eschen with a little bit of contact. Here comes the 69 of Nichols. He took a look to the inside, tucks it back in line, couldn't do anything through turns 3 and 4. As Randy Nichols applying the pressure. Gary Eschen says, all right, come on, Dustin, we got to get going.
I think Eschen needs to make an attempt on the outside. He had a lot of speed against Nichols a few laps ago when he was defending on the high side, so I think maybe he just kind of sends it around that top side through 1 and 2, and maybe he could get something done.
Yeah, right now this is the battle for 2nd through 5th. Scott Austin is 2nd. Here comes Eschen to the inside. A little bit loose that time off of turn number 2. Couldn't make anything happen right there as that battle kind of settles back down. A little bit of battle behind them. Chad McLeod and Robbie Clevey running side by side, and that is bottleneck the 46 of Philip Martin, who is losing touch with the top 5 cars in front of him. Clevey will give way that time by.
And look who's making his way through the field. Ryan Johnson now up to 7th place. However, he is still a ways back from our leader, Brian Hacker, 5.7 seconds. And Johnson also a second back from the next car in front of him, Philip Martin. So he is praying for a caution at some point tonight to kind of just shake this field up a little bit and bunch everyone back up. But still a battle rages on for 3rd place. Eschen now going to have that opportunity. He's going to get the nose to the inside of Shepard there into turn 3. Coming out of 4, Shepard coming up to the wall. He's going to have to get out of the throttle. That's going to give an opportunity for Eschen. He's now going to roll that bottom side. We've seen Eschen, though, rolled the high side quite well. Let's see if Shepard can do the same. As if he can't, he's going to lose 2 spots, as there is now the 69 of Nichols trying to make his way through as well and trying to follow Eschen, who is just barely getting himself ahead of Shepard here. Still battling side by side. Shepard holding that high side well, but has to get out of the throttle once again to avoid the outside wall. So he's going to lose the position to Eschen. Now he's having a battle against Nichols, who nearly gets into his side there, coming out of turn 2.
They're still side by side in the outside lane, holding court just fine here as we close in on the halfway point. Already 53 laps into the books, and it's only been racing for 11 minutes, Kelly. That's how fast this racetrack is. Oh, Shepard up the racetrack. He has to get into the binders. Hard contact with the turn 4 wall. Tough break for the ZooFab Garage. Number 89, he'll slide back into the 5th spot as both Eschen and Nichols have gotten away. And look how quick Gary Eschen has closed in on the finish line, number 5 of Scott Austin. That'll be a battle for second shaping up here as Gary Eschen starting to put some pressure to Scott Austin.
Yeah, Eschen seems like he has got some speed here tonight, but he has been stuck behind the 89 of Shepard. Eschen would hopefully has learned something from that pass and can maybe set up another pass a little bit easier on Scott Austin's, but we'll have to see here. He's still got a little bit of a gap to close up here, about 0.3 of a second between himself and Scott Austin. And still Ryan Johnson gaining positions as he gets around Philip Martin, and he is going to move himself up into 6th. Still a large gap for him to surmount to be able to get himself up to the race lead. That is now a 6-second gap between himself and his championship rival, Brian Hacker.
A little bit deeper in the field, Brian Campbell, Adam Gable, and Rodney Huntoon swapping some paint. We saw it there just for a quick second as they know the leader is coming. If you're on that lead lap, Kelly, when do you start feeling a little antsy, want to start using that front bumper? I think you see the number 2 starting to loom a little bit in your rearview mirror. You know it's time to go as they start to use the bumper here as we close in on the halfway point of the Badger State 125 of the ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. And this has been great racing here at Slinger. Wasn't sure what we were going to see when we came in this little quarter mile. And I tell you, it has been a good race so far. So you still watch that battle for spot number 9. Cable up the racetrack. Here comes Campbell to the inside. Can't do anything that time off turn number 4.
Yeah, but Huntoon is going to lose another spot, it looks like, as Jonathan Cross has been able to get to his inside. So really not a great race for our pole sitter tonight. Ran the 3rd fastest time in qualifying and drew the number 1 spot, but has dropped all the way back into 12th. He's now the last car on the lead lap as Brian Hacker closes up that gap, and now it looks like Huntoon is just going to run that high line and give way to Brian Hacker. So he will go a lap down now. We have now just got 11 cars left on the lead lap as we are getting through lap 66 here after only 15 minutes of racing.
Yeah, you can see the marbles off of turn number 4, the marbles up on the outside of the racetrack. So you do not want to get out of the groove right now, especially with how hot these tires are. Just past the halfway point is Brian Hacker, who has picked up the lead since lap 12. Scott Austin back in spot number 2. Gary Eschen running in 3rd. And I tell you, that is a great battle side by side for that battle, Kelly, as they head into turn number 1.
Yeah, and they are battling out for P2. Door banging there off of turn number 4. Gary Eschen, though, going to get the advantage on that inside line. Has not quite cleared Austin. Now he's going to barely clear him off of 4. Austin going to get into the back end of Eschen, but Eschen able to maintain control of his car. Going to come up a little bit in the back end of turn 2, and that is going to give an opportunity for Scott Austin to fight back here. He's now countering on that inside line, pushing Eschen up the racetrack. It's trying to get him into those marbles, but look at Eschen carrying a lot of speed on the high side of 1 and 2. We saw that earlier on when he was defending against Nichols, how he could carry some speed on the high side. As now it seems like those tires are wearing out a little bit and is allowing that high side to work a little bit better, especially off of turn 2. Once again, Eschen carrying a lot of speed around that corner.
Yeah, and this battle is going to catch Huntoon and Clavey, who are side by side, as we stay on the battle for the runner-up spot. Is between Scott Austin and Gary Eschen. Eschen able to clear him and slams the door shut in the turn number 3. Is now Ryan Johnson working around the 89 of Dustin Shepard. He gets a little bit sideways off of turn number 4, but give Shepard the 5th spot is the 89 of Shepard, trying to cross him back over, was unable to do so. But Gary Eschen now starting to leave the 5 of Scott Austin after getting around him for the spot number 2. He's got 2 seconds to make up and 2 lap cars to get around before catching race leader Brian Hacker.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few guys out there that are hoping for a caution here to maybe bunch up the field a little bit, as Eschen seems to have a lot of pace, and he has been running a little bit faster than Brian Hacker, that time about half a tenth quicker. So Eschen does have some speed in that 23 car, but he's got to find that pace and continue that pace to make up those 2 seconds, and as well as get around those lap cars that are also battling in front of him.
Yeah, and right now I think it depends on how you catch the traffic. 1 lap ago, it was Ryan Johnson who was the fastest car, 13.08. As you see, the best last time there. So everyone really in the 13.1s, Kelly, right now, as long as they're not in traffic, is Philip Martin. Goes around as Dustin Shepard is in pits.
Oh, and that is going to at least put him a few laps down. We've seen 2 cars have to come down pit road, and they were put at double-digit laps down, and they called it a night and pulled it behind the wall. So this may be the end of the night for the 89 car, and that is unfortunate. He had a good, strong opening half of this race, but caught the wall at some point, and I think that's why he came down pit road, is I think he may have damaged that car just too much for him to keep pace. So we are now down to just 7 cars left on the lead lap, and Matt Cook, a last car there in 7th place, as he is just barely ahead of Brian Hacker, who just got his way around Chad McLeod to put him a 2nd lap down.
One thing we got to note, Kelly, is they have that limited fuel load. Will fuel be an issue if this thing goes green to checker? And I know it's a short track. I would assume that they can make it even with the shortened fuel load in the ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. But that's got to be weighing on their minds. Drivers got to be checking that. Will they have to pit, as Brian Hacker has a 3-second lead over Gary Eschen, but Ryan Johnson up to the number 4 spot, and he is closing in on that 3rd rung of the podium.
Yeah, he's got a couple lap cars to get around. He's getting around one of them now. He's moved Jonathan Cross to the high side. Now he's going to get to the inside there of the 33 car of Braden Campbell, and that is going to, big trouble there for the 10 of Jonathan Cross. He's going to spin off of 4, and there is our first caution of the night, finally on lap 85, or lap 86 for the leaders, or maybe even 87. It was very confusing with a few cars a lap down, and with that caution coming out, I would expect everyone to come down pit road here to get those fresh tires.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see who's going to come down. Their tires going to make that big of a difference. As we wait to see when pit road will open, we'll take a look here at what happened to John Cross's number 10. See him working there behind Ryan Johnson and Campbell. Just got in the turns 1 and 2, got down on the apron, Kelly, and it unloaded the car, and around he went. Single car incident.
Yeah, just caught that banking and caught the apron, and that immediately sent him around. We'll see if pits are going to be open here and if cars are going to head down.
We have
looks like Randy Nichols has come down pit road, and I think he's been the only one so far. Maybe Robbie Clavey there.
And with how short this is, I believe he's going to end up losing a lap in the pits.
So that might be the reason why we aren't seeing anyone else come down pit road. It is such a short track, and with how slow the tire changes are on these cars, I mean, you don't have a NASCAR pit crew, and it takes a while to get even just the right sides done. I think there's another car that may have come down pit road. Adam Gable and Matt Cook have also come down. So we'll see if the tires are going to make that much of a difference. We're coming to the choose cone now. Looks like both Hacker and Eschen have taken the inside. And so far, the only one taking the outside is Scott Austin.
Yeah, Scott Austin taking the outside there, as that was our Austin Design choose cone. As the field rallies back up, looks like we're going to go back green flag racing. Next time by. So Scott Austin and Philip Martin on the outside there, Kelly. top 5 cars on the lead lap. And looks like yellow flag going to be extended just a little bit here. So as we got the time, Kelly, I don't know if you've heard it or not, but there is an announcement looming. And, well, we're proud to be back next season. I guess the winter season, as they call it here at the North-South Racing League, is the late model stocks return. His green flag is back out here as we are back underway.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. The pace car was still out. Brian Hacker had crossed the start-finish line, and then iRacing decided to throw the green flag, so caught a lot of people off guard, and that allowed Scott Austin to get himself back into second as we were back under green flag racing. Everyone thought we were going to have one more lap before we went green, but we had a bit of a reaction test here as we are back underway. Still, Brian Hacker leads the field. His whole lead, though, has disappeared. He had about 3 seconds over Eschen before the caution flag came out, and now he has got only 3/10 over his own teammate in the 5 of Scott Austin.
Yeah, Scott Austin running in spot number 2 now. Ryan Johnson runs in spot 4 as Gary Eschen has slid back to the 3rd spot. And it's hard to believe that this one is already closing in with 25 laps to go and just a few circuits around here. Top 5 cars on the lead lap, and they are running nose to tail, clean track in front of them for the time being. As we both all have to report that Austin Williams and Dan Janjanin have took the car to the box. Randy Nichols is going back down pit road in the 69 car. I believe he had a helping hand on that restart. Kelly saw his car facing into the grass, but no yellow flag came out for him.
Yeah, and he has decided to pull it out behind the wall here tonight. It looked like he had gone 3 wide with a couple other drivers and got a bit of a bump and sent around. It didn't seem like there was anything seriously damaged with his car, but he has decided to call it a night. So unfortunately for him, he is going to be scored back in 12th place. I think maybe even further back, because there's a couple drivers that are scored behind him that are still going.
That they are, and a little bit deeper in the pack back here. Adam Gable, John Cross, Rodney Huntoon battling for the 7th position as they trace down Campbell in case the yellow flag came out to be a lucky dog recipient. It's the top 4 cars single file. That's the best battle on the racetrack. Matt Cook also back there battling it. But Ryan Johnson starting to close in on Scott Austin. They try to go 3 wide there for a moment between Cross and Gable. I don't think that'll work here.
Yeah, but Ryan Johnson getting a good run off of 4. He's going to get a nose possibly to the inside. He is going to get to the inside of Scott Austin. So through 1 and 2, it is going to be Johnson on the inside, Austin to the outside. Can Johnson get through and chase down his rival? He is going to finally get past the 5 cars. Looks like Jonathan Cross had a bit of problems there off of turn 4. He's now going to be under fire and threatening to be put down a 2nd lap by the 2 of Brian Hacker, and that is going to slow Hacker up a little bit, maybe allow Johnson to catch a little bit to him, but at the same time, Johnson is going to also have to try to make his way past the 10 car of Jonathan Cross.
And it's impressive right now. Ryan Johnson starting to close in on the back side of Brian Hacker as Hacker sees that only a 9-point deficit between these 2 drivers as Brian Hacker led the points into tonight's race here at Slinger. Ryan Johnson came in at 9 points, had to start back in 16th position, has taken him all the way here to lap 109 to get up to the number 2 spot, and he is chasing down Brian Hacker. And last time at the line, Johnson was quicker, the only car besides Matt Cook in a sub-12 second lap.
Yeah, only 0.04 of a second faster. That time he's over a full 10th faster. That lead is disappearing. It is now just a 4/10 gap as looks like Hacker is struggling a little bit. It may have cooked his tires. That gap is getting even smaller here. It had gone down from 0.4 to just a 1/4 of a second. Ryan Johnson is all over the back bumper of Brian Hacker. Hacker going to have to hold on for a little over 10 laps. Looks like we've got 12 to go at the line here. So can Ryan Johnson get the job done and go from the back to the front?
Did Johnson save enough Hoosier Racing tire on this ZooFab Garage Street stock? Or is it the number 2 of Brian Hacker? Can he hold on? 10 more laps to go as Barney the Flagman will show him the high fives ×2 off the corner. This time Johnson looks to the inside, can't do anything down the front stretch.
And it looks like Johnson may have just caught the line coming through 3 and 4. And that got him just slightly loose off of turn 4. This time, though, nice and steady. And now he is right on the bumper of that 2 car. Can Johnson find that gap and get by him? Laps are going to be ticking away quick. Johnson going to shorten up that exit, barely getting his nose chopped off by the 2. He's going to get right up into the rear bumper, trying to move Hacker out of the way. Hacker going to hold on, though. He's still going to maintain that lead. This is going to be a battle that is going to go right to the line.
Brian Hacker trying to make that number 2 as wide as possible. Up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes Johnson to the inside. Drag racing to turn number 1. Down to the inside will go Johnson. He catches the apron. That allows Hacker to get back in front. We have a slugfest here at Slinger. Up off of turn number 4 they come. 6 to go for Brian Hacker. Can he hold on? Ryan Johnson stalking him. Knows he has to win. Can he go back to back? To the inside, hits the hooks. Hacker will hold on to it with 5 to go.
Absolute battle here between the 2 and the 38, our championship contenders here tonight, and they are both going to increase their lead over the rest of the field. The question is, who's going to try to lead the other coming out of this race? Hacker trying to maintain that race lead. Laps are ticking away here. We are on lap 122 of a scheduled 125. Johnson seems to be a little bit faster, but he is going to have to battle to get around Brian Hacker. Now just a few more laps to go, 3 to go. As we come around turns 1 and 2, Johnson still has not quite caught back up to the bumper. Now going to get right up against Brian Hacker.
Give him a little bit of shot as the popsicle sticks are up. 2 to go for Brian Hacker and Ryan Johnson, who are putting a great battle on. 1 into through turns 3 and 4. A little bit more contact. White flag is up. Final trip around Slinger. Into turns 1 and 2. Brian Hacker holding on Ryan Johnson into the back bumper. There's lap car right in front of the race leader. He'll get out of the way. Johnson, one last more ditch effort. Can't do it. Brian Hacker's going to win the Badger State 125. Ryan Johnson will come home second. Scott Austin third. Gary Eshin fourth. And Philip Martin, your top 5. And what was a very fast-paced race. And how about that finish, Kelly? Wow.
Yeah, I think we should just run every race at Slinger. That was amazing.
Wow, what a finish. Brian Hacker going to pick up the win. And I'm sure he's sweating that one, Kelly. Ryan Johnson from 16th to 2nd here tonight. Unofficially the hard charger, though not in the running due to that. But Brian Hacker going to pick up the win here tonight at Slinger. And we'll go to another track that's a little bit tough next week, Southern National. We'll find out their thoughts on that one. Another high bank short track, but man, if it's anything like tonight, I am looking forward to that one already. As Brian Hacker going to head down to ZooFab Garage Victory Lane, and Kelly has already made his way out the door to head on down as track side. I'll follow suit momentarily. I didn't want that one to end.
I don't think Ryan Johnson wanted it to end either. I think he wanted a few more laps to make another attempt at getting past Brian Hacker there.
I think so. What a drive for Ryan Johnson as well. As we are down here in Victory Lane, and that means it is time for our ZooFab Garage post-race show, presented by ZooFab. And Kelly, I believe you're down there in Victory Lane with the driver of the number 2.
Yeah, caught up now with Brian Hacker. And Brian, have you caught your breath yet after that finish?
Yeah, I didn't deserve that, but we're certainly going to take it. I really did not want to see that caution come out however many laps into that long run. I feel like I had a pretty good gap and some lap cars between me, and I was in a good rhythm and probably didn't have the best tires, but at that point in time it probably didn't matter. As soon as that yellow came out, I knew it was going to bunch everybody up, and I was not looking forward to it. And Ryan is notorious at saving his tires. So as soon as I saw him go from 4th to 3rd to 2nd, I was like, here he comes. And I just had to take the line that I thought would be preferred and hold on to it and make him move me. And he tried a couple times, and a guy like Ryan's a stand-up guy. He's not gonna wreck you. I just told him I appreciated it. He could have easily fenced me for that one, and he didn't. So that goes a long way with me. I'm gonna make sure that I race him that way going forward. So it's it's good to have a little door to door and bumper to bumper, but as long as we're not fencing each other, it's all fun.
Well, in 1 week's time, we are going to be moving on to Southern National. Definitely a different racetrack than what we had here tonight. I mean, what are you kind of expecting out of that one?
Yeah, it's different, but it's similar actually. It's high banked, little more spread out, little longer than this place, but it's not big. It's less than a half mile with some pretty good banking and good speed. I've usually run pretty well there, so certainly feel better about starting last there than at a couple other tracks. But at any rate, we're gonna have to navigate through the field pretty cautiously as we always do.
Well, 2 more races left on the season. How are you feeling about your points lead going into these last 2, even with the having to start in the back at Southern National?
I just, as long as we can get up to top 5 next week, I think we're in okay shape. Certainly not going to take anything for granted. I still don't feel like, we're in the catbird seat or anything like that, even though, we've got the lead right now. Ryan's really good. I just want to get to Nashville in a good position because Nashville's one of my better tracks. So if we can get through next week in a pretty good spot, then I'll feel probably a little bit better.
All right. Well, before we let you go, Brian, we're going to give you the floor. Who would you like to thank for your win tonight?
Yeah. First off, I'll again thank Ryan for not putting me in the fence. It seems like the last handful of race nights have come down to me and him battling out for the win. So that respect is going to go back and forth. Thanks to Scott Austin with the 3rd place and Austin Designs, good looking cars as always. Boulder Beer Bar, Carbon Junction, Aberdeen Lodge, you guys for doing this, the admins for doing this, and kudos to the field. I think not what do we have? 1 caution, 2 cautions tonight? 1? I don't even remember, but it wasn't very many. In this track, it's easy to rack them up. So nice job by the field.
All right, Brian, thanks for coming out and talking to us. Good luck to you here in 1 week's time, and hopefully we'll hear from you again at the end of our race at Southern National.
Hope so. Thanks, guys.
That is Brian Hacker, your winner here tonight at Slinger Speedway, but we're going to move along here, and Al is going to be caught up with our 2nd place finisher.
Yeah, standing down here with a very hot and overheated number 38 of Ryan Johnson. And Ryan, man, 16th to 2nd, you were pressuring there for the win there. Brian gave you a lot of kudos. That was probably one of the most fun races for us to call up there in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. I'm sure it wasn't as much fun for you, but coming home with a 2nd place finish. Talk about your run through the field.
Yeah, fortunately for us, we had the EOL for winning our last race. But I knew we were going to have to be patient, just kind of pick them off. With the car count that we've had, it's been not as big of a challenge. I mean, there's less cars to work through. Makes it a little bit easier, but still got to be patient. Use your head. Try and save your stuff as you're, trying to make your way through the field. Man, until that caution, I don't know if I would have been able to catch him had that caution not come out, but it did, and we all got lined up again, and I was like, well, we might have a chance, and yeah, I was beating his rear bumper off, I felt like, but he probably felt nothing. I'm not too experienced in that sort of thing, but yeah, I mean, it sucks. He's extending that points lead, so the next 2 races are going to be interesting.
Well, you're going to minimize, I guess, the point bleed the best you can with a 2nd place finish here tonight. The good news is you don't have to start in the back next week as we head to Southern National, another high bank short track. Southern National, similar to this in a way. You're going to see, I think, a couple groups there. Do you like Southern National? Do you prefer the bank tracks, or would you prefer the flatter racetracks?
I mean, I think I prefer racing on the bank tracks, but I think my stats would say I do better on the flatter tracks. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, 2 more races. I mean, you never know. But do what we can. You know, everything's short of wrecking anybody else because we don't race like that. But yeah, well, I mean, looking forward to it. We only got 2 more, so we'll see what happens.
We are definitely looking forward to it. You make it always fun here, as always, and it's going to be a good battle right down to the last race, we do believe, and it's good to see a lot of respect between you and the other competitors, and Brian definitely tipping the hat to you for there. It would have been easy enough to fence him, but knows you don't race that way, and he doesn't either. So good to see a good battle like that, and a good to get up through the field. But who makes it all possible on this 38 car to come up here in the runner-up spot tonight?
Yeah, just all the admins at NSRL, you guys that turned through for broadcasting, DCD for my paint, After Dark teammates, and all the drivers putting on a really good league. That's why we all keep coming back.
Well, congratulations, Ryan. We look forward to see what you can do next week at Southern National. Have a good week, and hopefully we'll be talking to you in 1 week's time.
Appreciate it.
Ryan Johnson going to come home second. Kelly, you can hear a little bit of a disappointment in his voice. He's going to come home second in front of the man that you've caught up with, who finishes third.
Yeah, here now with the driver, the number 5, Scott Austin. And Scott, that looked like an absolute dogfight out there tonight. What was it like from your point of view?
Yeah, you nailed it. The tires were falling off. We were just holding on for dear life.
Well, you started up towards the front. You stayed up towards the front. What do you think the key was here tonight?
Yeah, I think gap ourselves on the restarts and then just pace the guy in front and behind. I know Brian obviously didn't want to waste his tires up, so I tried to just keep 2 in front, 2 behind, and ride it out that way. It seemed to work out well.
Well, in 1 week's time, we have got 125 laps scheduled for Southern National. What are you expecting out of that racetrack?
It's high banked, much like this one, so I don't know if the right front's going to fall off like it seemed to tonight, but I like that track as well. I've got a little bit more time on that one than tonight did, so hopefully we have the same result. We can keep going strong.
All right, Scott. Well, a good run here from you tonight, and we're going to give you the floor. Who would you like to thank for your 3rd place finish?
Yeah, thanks to the league for putting this on. I really enjoy it. I enjoyed my time off, but I was really looking forward to get back behind the wheel again. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Shout out to Papa Austin, if he's still watching. Him and I come out here to Slinger for the Nationals every year, and I really enjoy that. So he usually is watching. And thanks to you guys, so I could go back and watch tomorrow myself.
Well, Scott, hopefully you like what you see in the broadcast when you watch it tomorrow, and hopefully you'll have another good run at Southern National in a week. Good luck to you.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good night.
That is the driver of the number 5, Scott Austin, who's going to come home at 3rd place here tonight and going to help his teammate Brian Hacker get a little bit of a bigger points lead over Ryan Johnson. But as you said, Al, he sounded quite disappointed to finish second. It looked like he had the pace for a 1st place finish, but it seems like he just kind of ran out of time here at Slinger.
He definitely did, and what a great race it was, Kelly. Like, we came in here tonight and we said, well, there's going to be some bent feelings and some bent race cars, and that was quite the opposite. I think that everyone leaving here with a car that is at least fixable if they did make some contact with the wall, and we head on out to Southern National for the Dixie 125 in 1 week's time. The points race ever so close once again, in just 2 weeks remaining. And I know it's hard to believe that, but Kelly, I believe you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled to the North-South Racing League's Facebook page and their social medias, as I was tipped off just a little bit earlier this afternoon, that there is some sponsorship news coming for the late model stock division that'll be back here during the winter time. And we'll be back on the call for that, so really looking forward to being back part of the North-South Racing League and bringing all of you race fans and the drivers the live action with the late model stocks. We're going to bump up the horsepower a little bit, and I'm going to stay with the full fender cars. Really looking forward to that one, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. If the racing is anything as good as these street stocks, it'll be some great entertainment, and we've seen a good season so far, so seeing more of the same would be amazing.
I think it definitely will be, and well, what could you ask better for tonight? We saw a lot of side-by-side racing. We saw a lot of close racing, and, well, it ends up with Brian Hacker holding on to pick up the win here tonight. You saw the results there, and that was Brian Hacker's 4th win of the season. He will extend that points lead just a little bit as we head into next week's race at the Southern National Motorsports Park. And the season finale will be the ZooFab Garage Championship night down at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. 200 laps of action. That'll be December 16th. So another 2 weeks of action, Kelly. We couldn't do it without all the partners here with the North-South Racing League, like ZooFab Garage, the proud presenting sponsor of the ZooFab Garage Street Stock Series. Kelly's Custom Engraving, RC2 Promotions, Wizard Designs, J&G Hardwood Flooring, and Dualizer, our drink of choice as soon as we get off the air. So we want to thank all those, Kelly, and thank you for making the trip here to Wisconsin. Really looking forward to next week's Southern National, one of my favorite racetracks, and we hope that you will tune back in here on Turn 3 Racing Network. But until next week, everybody, we hope you keep it wheels down, and we'll see you in turn number 3. Good night, everybody.